Hello and welcome to episode 21 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 20, day 14. Last time we did effective medical torturing of beavers to expel the poison from their bodies, which seems to be working quite well. But I made bad choices with all of this stuff right here, and we gotta do something about that. I will admit that I was a little overzealous in my placement and then removal of the floodgate dam, so yes, we will be building one again. Yes, it will be the absolute highest possible priority. And yes, we are going to get that hooked up to a weather station, which we do actually have, called Bad Gary. So when Bad Gary activates, this slams all the way up. When Bad Gary deactivates, all the way down. Now, are we going to get bad water coming through this area in the event of Bad Gary deactivation after bad tide? Yes. However, it's going to be okay because it's going to flush it through there and it's not going to be that bad, and if it gets to be a huge pain in the butt, then we can redo it. But that is still better than me having to manually babysit it and forgetting and it being worse. So, yeah, this is a blunder. We're fixing it. It's going to be okay. Probably didn't need to do this exact setup right here, just for the record. I am going to also probably just go ahead and put this up a little bit more, because I want to try to get most of the water to come around this way so that it can ideally force more water through the wheels here. So we'll see if this ends up going up. It's about 160. Oh, yeah, okay, it's going up. All right, well, that was easy. Okay, it's only kind of going up and then surging a little bit, but we'll see what we can get ourselves into. I know some of it's coming over here, and I know some of it eventually is going to come over here and then out that way, and so on and so forth. But we're doing something, and that's what matters. So, oh, I forgot. Now, this is a new thing that we have to do every time. Like, you know, you get to a certain age in your life, and I know there's a lot of you who are older than me, but that's beside the point. You get to a certain age, and then you get, like, DLC for body issues and ailments. That's what this is now. Every time we open this playthrough, I gotta put those 3 paths back because the game doesn't like that I put paths on top of that building. But I digress. We've made some nice progress, and there's still so many more things we need to do, but we're gonna take our time. We're gonna dive in, and we're not gonna worry about fitting into the 90-minute time restraint anymore, because as of this episode, this is now a twice-weekly series instead of a thrice-weekly series. So if I'm only recording this twice a week, I don't have to worry quite as much about making these not heinously long. Now, if you guys don't like that, you can always say, hey, this is heinously long. I don't want this. And then, you know, maybe I'll fix that. But until a lot of people get mad about it, it's probably not going to change. Other things we need to address, and boy, are there things we need to address. This area here, with our great storage houses, does have access, but it is very brambly down here, and none of these are marked for cutting. So what I'm going to do is mark all of these for cutting, and I think it's going to make the most sense to kind of remove what we have going on here. I know they can't get to these, and these will just continuously spawn other stuff down here. But I believe we have the ability to kind of do something about that. Obviously, when the brambles are there, I can't really build anything, but we have the ability to put in covered walkways to cover the paths, which will also help stop brambles from getting places. Oh, this is something somebody wanted to do, so I figured, you know what, we can do that. It's going to be an easy thing to kind of address. This area here obviously has to have something on top of it, and there's a bunch of different things we could put in. But I think it would be nice to have something even just tangentially related to what we're doing with mining here. Or that would be of use to future things we're going to do over here. So, the underground ruins, if you're not familiar with the water beavers, do give us, and I can never remember where these things are. They do give us one of these. Where is this? Aha! Elevator to the Abyss buildings, which we are going to have to modify this when we actually go in and put other stuff on here. But this is going to require power at some point. So one of the things we could put here, thank you, autosave, is the methane engine. That is a levy. It's a waterproof thing. I can stick it here. I can stick it here, whatever. And it's going to output power out the back. And that will make 1,000 HP per hour with 10 methane consumed. You might be saying, well, you don't have any methane. Okay, that might actually technically be true, but that's also not really that true because we have been making it. We have 480 stored here, which is 48 hours worth of running a methane engine, and 1,000 HP is actually a pretty sizable amount. It would run a lot of these advanced machines. High temperature foundry is 1,000, or 1,000, it used to be 1,000, I think. Or maybe not, but it's 500 here. And the assembly line, which does a bunch of useful stuff, is 300. So on and so forth. You get the idea. So I think that's not a bad idea for something to stick up there. But along with a bunch of these other things, it was mentioned that we could improve pathing by slightly reconfiguring how these are set up. But I want to just redo this whole area anyway. I'm not going to say we're going to do that right now, but that is on the list of stuff that I would like to do. Oh, we have a drought coming in. Mercifully, which means I don't have to worry about this one quite as much. Wait, it was actually already done? Alright, well that's fine. Yeah, we'll just let him build that. So drought coming in is going to, because of how this is set up, unfortunately render the beaver washing machine kind of unusable after about 0.5 seconds because these pumps are going to keep pumping. So we will still need the alternative heat. I almost combined healing and treatment to make heatment. I don't think that's a thing. But these contaminated beaver jails probably would do better over here. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start moving these guys right here. So 3 of those there will give us the power to do 9 beavers. And I've got space here. That'll get us to 15. And I have this already ready to go with the pollution resistance factor, but I think we can go ahead and move that as well. Just make it nice and simple right there. Already set to pollution resistance factor and obtain and prioritized. Now they've got a lot of stuff to do to make this work. Let's give them a bit of a helping hand by just yeeting and deleting all of this stuff. They can pick that up off the ground if they feel so inclined. And this is going to give us more space to expand this area because this is about to be a really good, well, marginally better place to do any sort of industrial stuff. Now, we have 28 vacancies because we have 40 incapacitated beavers, but if we didn't have incapacitated beavers, we'd have 12 extra beavers. Which means, oh, well, there's nobody in the scavenger's junkyard anyway, so I guess this doesn't matter. I was about to say, well, put more scavenger flags around and absorb all the extra jobs, because that was a comment that was made. But we don't even have anybody in here anyway, because we got to heal them. So, mild disease to the tune of 26 beavers, which you may remember there used to be a science thing here that is now gone. That's why we have 1,700 of it. That's probably where that came from. So we only have 3 medical beds for mild diseases. I don't want to really add a bunch more of these, but if we have 26, we're never going to get, well, 25 now, we're never going to get through it with 3. So I'm going to add 6 more. I don't want to add, like, you know, a billion of these things, but I do want to add enough, and it requires rope, which we don't really have a ton of. I say as we have 122, but we are going to be doing other stuff with the ropes. Is this flooding here? It looks like it probably is. Okay, well, you know, that's actually fine, because it's not permanently flooding, and it is getting that to go off every so often. That seems like it's okay. Alright, they've rebuilt all the jails, and the 5th extra one is almost finished. So this will even out a little bit in due time. And because this is not a bad tide, we don't have to worry about this quite yet. But it is something we want to do. And yes, I believe it is time, folks, to get the calculatorium up and running. It's also really funny that you can automate this building, because this building is supposed to... Anyway, I'm going to commit to doing 1 automation today. I'm going to research the resource counter, and because of how this building is constructed, it does have to be on one of these 10 spaces. So, I'm actually not sure about the requirements for how this has to be accessed. It says it doesn't work going that way. So I wonder if this is a thing where you have to put in a path that actually connects to the rest of this. And attached to the path. Let me know if you know. That's the wrong one. Yeah, because my understanding was that the resource counter absolutely had to be attached to a path. So we're going to do that. Now what this is going to count is sawdust. Go all the way down here. I'll show you what we're doing in just a moment. I do love that this is alphabetical, but there's just so many things here. All right, so what I want to happen is when sawdust measurement goes below a threshold, based on percent, what's the actual number? 360, okay. We'll say under 10%. I want this to turn on. So this will turn on under 10%, and what that will do is that will activate the log gnawing station set to sawdust. So I know they're currently making a plank, and this may not be the best way to do this, but I do want them to finish this, I say, right as it stalls at halfway for the evening. All right. Well, you know, you can't win them all. But what I'm going to do is basically make this a failsafe so that whenever sawdust gets really low and starts to block up everything because it needs sawdust, then this would turn on and give us some sawdust being made. And then just to get it over the hump, so to speak, just to get it to turn on. Even for just a little bit. Now, I understand that having this only set to a threshold without a memory or a whatever isn't really gonna be super ideal. But I also don't want it to turn into a whole super complicated thing. So for right now, this one step thing is going to be better than nothing, and that's what I'm going with. So once we get this to that 99%, we'll swap this over to sawdust. And this is now making a bunch of sawdust. When this is finished, of course it needs 20 paper, and I don't have paper. All right. See, we've identified flaws within the system just by trying to fix other flaws within the system. There you go. It's like fixing an old house or an old car. Or a boat. Which, by the way, boat is an acronym for bust out another $1,000. Because every single cent you spend on a boat will have to be spent 10 times over before anything gets done to it. And then you sell it and you're a whole lot happier. But that's fine. We're going to get some paper going. Also, sawdust is a component of paper generation. Of course it is. But once this is done, then this is going to be automatically paused. I'm just going to leave this like it is to generate sawdust because we do genuinely need it. Just need to make sure that we're streamlining everything else as we can. I did see someone saying we're not making enough planks. That may technically be true. I think for now we're probably mostly okay. We do have a lot of other stuff to consider, but we'll keep an eye on that. This being unpaused at the same time as unpausing this has added, what, 12 population to, a count of beavers that we don't really want to expand. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, hauler upgrade doesn't add any. What we really need to do is get these out of here. Because we have like at least 30% too many beavers in this complex relative to what's going on up here. And if we're not pumping out of here, then that makes it a lot easier to manage our water levels. Okay, so this is at about 10 HP, hovering between like 10 and 15 higher per wheel. So, that is a decent enough improvement. Don't have to be not happy with that. Okay, this is the one set to fast recipe. It was also suggested that I put in another resource counter set to turn this off when there's not enough sawdust to run it. I don't know that we need to get that complicated just yet. I think we're probably okay. I did, however, want to get this cleaned up a little bit more, because obviously you have the brambles over here that are going to want to make their way down, and there's not really much we can put in the water to stop that from happening. And if this is completely blocked off, then that's going to be a whole different thing. Well, these beavers are going to get wet fur bonus, which is nice. I just need to figure out some way, because it's 3 wide is not really going to be tremendously great way to do business here. Yeah, I'm just going to have them come up to get these out of here, because these are just going to regrow aggressively, which we don't really want. Yeah, I kind of wanted to really avoid babysitting this, because that is like the least fun thing to do, or watch, for that matter. Mild disease numbers have not actually gone down, which is concerning, even though I've got 9 of these. Well, see, I really didn't want to build a ton of these, but, you know, at this point, we probably kind of have to, so what's another 6 of these? Why not? Just get it done so we can have something going on. Everything else over here is looking okay. Somebody made a comment that was very intriguing to me, and that was that you could path from the 2nd level of the library. But, maybe I just misinterpreted it. It's always possible, but I can't place anything inside the library here, folks. You used to be, a long time ago, previous version of this, you used to be able to place a scroll rack inside this 2nd floor balcony thing. But that was no longer a thing. I know we can put stuff on top of the building. Like, obviously I can see this. But there's no way to get up there without stairs from the outside, and I don't think we need to be spending our time or effort working on that specifically. Which one of these is making tools? This one. Okay. And it's waiting on coal. Ah, yeah. See, this is exactly why I wanted to have another one of these medium mines, because we apparently can't provide coal fast enough. Well, it is what it is. The sawdust resource counter is off, which means... Oh, I'd never automated this. Well, that's on me. Okay, so that problem is solved. I do need to rename this to sawdust low alert, which is not technically alert, but anyway. You get the idea. I am curious, though, if this is... We know resource counter has to be actually attached to a path, but... I wonder if I can put in timer. Oh yeah, I can just stack the timer on top of it. That's exactly what that was for. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that last episode and I just didn't do it. Don't have a lot of bad water, which is the fault of this. But we're also, you know, really going through it. We're making a lot of stuff, so we probably shouldn't be too hard on it. Regarding the florists, someone did math in the comments, which I'm always thankful for, assuming it's correct math. And they say that to supply what we're trying to do with the rope maker, we need to have 7 of these. Currently have 5, and I kind of don't want to make any more right now because they each add more beavers, and, you know, supplying this with sunflower seeds and sawdust in requisite amounts is not exactly simple. They also said for this purpose we need to have 45 squares of sunflower seeds, 46 if we want a surplus, and you know, this is more than 45. I would venture to say it's also more than 46, also on this side. So in theory, for that alone we should be fine. But you can see that this is empty, and we are using sunflower seeds for other purposes. They are stuffed to bursting in the cooking tent here that is supposed to be making cereal bars. And now the chestnuts are the limiting factor. So, theoretically this should have been enough chestnuts, but I did maybe go a little overboard in the fermentation process for making the chestnut beer. And then, of course, using that chestnut beer to make strong alcohol. Strong alcohol, which does get consumed to make various other things like brain-boosting salts. And then later on, some of these other recipes. So there's room for improvement around the board. I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge that. This has not been removed because, of course, it hasn't. Well, that's fine. They'll get this cleaned up at some point. Again, I'm not going to babysit this. We got so much else to do. Let's see. We talked about the methane engine. Talked about the florists. Talked about the pathing inside the library. Talked about moving the water around to go through the wheels, and we made a little bit more power. Moved the contamination gills. You know, I've actually already hit basically every item that was on my list. Well, that's no good. We can't stop there. We also haven't, you know, completely solved every problem we've been trying to do. But I do generally like to just address everything if I can. This power right here does need to come up. That was something that we were working on intermittently, and I didn't want to use all of the scaffoldings. But we do have 2 of these Architect's Lodges that are in the process of making those. They are being supplied reasonably well. At least so where they're not going to stop. It just takes forever to make those. These things are encroaching more and more into my screen. It's a good problem to have, but at some point we'll need to address that. Where is the hole? There it is. Alright, so that's 6 of those. 7, 8, 9 gets us up here where we can do literally anything else. And then down here, I had the issue of wanting the beavers to be able to get in to build the rest of this, and they actually can. Let's get that connected. Just so they can build that, and then we'll have to go up from... I guess I could maybe make one more here. No, they're not going to be able to get to that after that, but they do have to build this. And then this one can come up, and then we join them. If I wanted to spend a whole bunch of resources making a bunch of tunnels, I could have connected them downstairs. And I already did build this. Actually, let's think about this. Vertical power shaft times 2, going up like what, 10 average? So that is 20 scaffolding to do that, and 20 logs, versus coming back here with the dynamite. And oh yeah, we this presently is not unaffordable, but I do kind of think it makes sense to just have those both be shafts and not have to worry about blasting this out. We could, but just going vertical like this is, it's going to be fine. Feel free to yell at me if you disagree. That's always allowed. I marked those. That's fine. Why is the calculatorium itself paused? Okay, that probably shouldn't... I never unpaused it. I don't think it is allowed to pause this while something is being used inside of it. And I had already said that we had too many beavers as a result of turning this on. We hadn't turned it on. Well, there's my penance. I need to take away housing from somewhere else. Pit and Ladder Lodge. I mean, we're using these. They are useful, but we don't have to have this here. I could get rid of these and move storages somewhere else. Honestly, we've got a lot of farmhouses over here. This is serving a purpose. This is fine, I guess. I don't know. It's getting more and more difficult to find ways to not increase the population. Yeah, because we really need most of the stuff that we're actually using. That's the unfortunate part. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to move on. Okay, we have 3 balloons, and, you know, balloons are great, but we are going to have to actually do something with them instead of just admiring the number go up. So, where's this thing? Come on. Aha! We have 1,500 science still. Let's go ahead and get started on a balloon trader landing pad so we can start getting the scouting balloons operating, because we need to get those seeds so we can make a tree nursery, so we can make all these other things. And perhaps more importantly, we need to find a place to put the tree nursery. And I think over here is probably going to be our best bet, because we do want to have a lot of bamboo, and this is a decent enough spot to put it. We do have bad water coming through here, but we did talk about ways to hopefully kind of mitigate that. It's just going to be a little bit of a process to do so. I'm not entirely sure. We may have to figure something else out. But the fact remains that we just need to have balloons. And I said something previously about these requiring a separate district to fully work. Oh, nice. I can put these through scrap and stuff. For right now, how this is set up, I don't think we need to be super worried about it. Famous last words. But, yeah, what the heck, I'll just put one of these up here, who cares. This will go here. Can I put a path underneath this? Oh, I can just put this right here, okay. Is this the best spot in the world for this? Absolutely not. Am I going to put it here anyway? Yep, you betcha. Scouting balloon on top. Please. Please attach. Please. Please. Is it not going to let me do it until the building's actually built? Because it's acting like a... Oh, I never... Oh, no, that's not the right one. Because this has to go... What's up with this? What's up with this? Why can't I hold all these limes? All right, this has to be built, I suppose. So that's fine. Well, who's gold right here? Hello, Bobbin. Well, anyway, other stuff to address. We got 0.1 days left. This is fine. Water storage is mostly full. Somebody left a comment, among other things, saying that the zipline station should be moved closer to the warehouses. What if I told you we're just going to be adding more storage here? So I think it's going to end up being A-okay. That's fine. And as far as mushrooms, I do think, yeah, it's probably going to be time pretty soon to start retiring these. Pumping from up here, maybe you should have a better spot to get one or more of these expanded out. Where's the doorway on this? To that side. That'll connect there, right? Because I can't flip the... Okay, well... We will just have to see what we're doing here. I want to see if I can get this to go in. Deep water pump-wise. It says it's connected, and it usually lets me do this. So we'll see what happens when that gets built. I just want to add as much as I can over here. 9-day drought, which is, as far as I can tell, just going to be fine over here. This is going to be mostly unusable, which is, you know, not great. But we only have one contaminated beaver. We are somehow down to 24 diseased beavers. They are being treated somehow very, very, very slowly. Alright. Other things to... Oh, there's no water super nearby. I mean, I know we have some here, but... Never hurts to have more water, and having some right here where the injured beavers are is probably a good idea. I know those are a comment people have left before, and I just haven't implemented yet. Yep, that's accessible there. That's not the right thing. That's accessible out to here. Seems like this is doing okay. Alright. Leave that alone. They are not working on this because, of course, they aren't. Yes, these balloons, I was really hoping to get going on this. So I want to be able to put this other thing on here, but I guess we'll have to wait. I'm actually kind of surprised at the relative lack of resurgence these guys have had here, but I do need to get the rest of these... Of course that went there. Need to get the rest of these removed, and then... Not necessarily fenced in on this side, but I do like the idea of having the covered walkways. So, to that end, I will wrap this around, and I will move this to this side. Get that disconnected there, there, and the covered walkways will serve a dual purpose. And that I can... Oh, never mind, there's a thing on the edge there. But I can block most of the brambles from this side by putting them here. Ideally, these are all just removed and they just don't rebreed, but I can block some stuff there. I've got 5 long, and I don't have, you know, I do have a single, I've got a mini, I've got a corner. Point being, we can mostly block this and it will be fine. But for... no, the blasted things spread here. Alright, you know what? Again, I said I'm not going to mess with that, and now I'm messing with it, and it's causing me to have regret, so we're going to stop that. Maybe it's time to go ahead and rip this out, because originally I set this up to try to make berries. we got berries. So if this is only going to be plant fibers, this area isn't really a good spot for it anyway. It's at 99%, so I'm going to let this one finish. Goodbye. This is already empty. Goodbye. That has clay in it that doesn't have to be there. Do I have other storage for clay? I don't. So that was a good thing for us to check on, because now I can put a clay storage, which I believe has to go in a pile. Just over here. Is this a great spot for it? Not necessary. Does not go in a pile. Okay, never mind. Is this a great spot for this? And not necessarily, but it will be okay. It'll be better than having this in this spot. Plant fibers don't necessarily have to be there. Nenifars are not being made here anymore. They are being harvested nearby. Thank you, mute button. So we're going to get that done. I've got storage, but I fear we're not using these really fast enough for it to be an issue. So let's kind of tackle a bunch of things at once. Let's commit to putting the methane engine up here and give it what it needs to succeed. So if we want power to come out, it comes out the bottom. This is a thing that will require power, so I do think I want this to go this way, but that does mean I'm going to have to flip this because I need to be able to get the path in on this side. Yes, unlock that. That will waterproof this unless I have made a completely ridiculous and also probably hilarious mistake. But let's get this popped in here, connected to here. I'm going to leave space, I assume, yeah, right here for another thing called the gas tank, which, as one might expect, contains gas, methane, or hydrogen. Currently, we can only make methane here. Previous playthroughs, I really avoided building this because, it uses too many materials. But now, you know, we kind of have the materials, so it's not that big of a problem. And having methane accessible is going to be really, really nice. At the place where it's most needed, makes even more sense. So before we do this here, I do need to make absolutely sure what I'm about to do makes sense. So I can't really do a ton else with this. Now, what I can do is, since we have these overhang walkways and then skewer platforms we can unlock, I can extend, okay, not the front of this building, but I can extend here and here, and then I can put skewers on top, and then I could actually put the methane tank suspended over something, which is objectively hilarious. So I know I can't actually daisy chain these, but I can skewer platform. Again, we have plenty of science. This is a worthwhile thing to have. Put that there. And then we laugh in the face of point loads and basic physics and do one of these numbers, which puts the tank right there. And you might be saying, okay, well, what are you going to do about making the stuff that goes into here? Well, that is where our friend, the fermentation barrel, comes in, which is going to be not a house, one, because we don't want to have any more beavers, and two, because I don't want to deal with that. We could put some of those right here. I could also, depending on how much I want to commit to this bit, I suppose this would not be a bad place to stick another one of those. Make use of all the technology we have, right? Let's do 2 of these right here. And then that way I can actually have this perfectly straight like so. Set these to methane. This goes in here. As a reminder, this consumes 10 methane per hour. The recipe in this thing produces per hour, not 10. But having 2 of these every hour, assuming a good enough supply of nenifars, every 8 hours we'll be making 120. So, theoretically, every hour we're making more than 10, which is what this is requiring to burn. So, it'll be fine. This also has 20,000 capacity, so that's going to be good. We will need to have nenifar storage up here. Let me just double check this recipe again. It is literally just nenifars. Okay. Does it matter if we have the small warehouse? No, not really, but the way this is currently set up, I think we can justify putting a full-size medium warehouse of Nennefar's up here set to obtain. That makes sense. This is going to be moved. This is going to be removed. Repeat and repeat on a boat, etc. This is currently full of methane and can't have anything else shoved into it. And then when we have the gas tank finished, that's going to go in there. But yeah, now I got to decide what I'm doing with all this space over here. I don't think we need more rice, or I would have said this would have been a good place to put it. This was just not working, period, point blank, how we had this set up. If nothing else, we can reconfigure this path to come down this side. Go directly to jail. Do not pass $200. Collect, go, whatever deformed version of that you want to ascribe to in your head. That's going to cut down on trip times here. Then we can also, as part of that, as part of doing all of this really, remove this staircase, plant some more lotuses, and maybe do something else up here, but this didn't need to be here. This was not a very good spot for this to be. So that is now finished. This is now being emptied. It also is not connected to anything, so let's just, for the time being, get that hooked back up. I could just delete this, yeet it, put the methane on the ground, but we might as well just have it be emptied properly when this gets finished. They are working on getting that built. This has been successfully de-brambled. So I really only need to have the walkway covers on this side. I do like the stairs coming down like this. I think that's fun. You know, a nice way to get upstairs. But let these guys, you know, get that cleaned out. And then I suppose, without something better to put here, probably just makes sense to just do one of these here. And then this isn't so ludicrously expensive that I can't justify building it. It's just going to look a little funky. Actually, tell you what, I'll put that one there. When this gets removed, then I'll put the triple right here and then a single on that side, and that should effectively protect this whole area, minus what we have going on here. But we'll figure that out. Just little bits and pieces of stuff that make sense. Probably what we should do instead. Well, let me go ahead and do this before I forget. We can pop that in there. But these guys currently can only access from right here. So an easy way to, I guess you could say, fix the problem would be to just put in stairs right here. And that will stop brambles from coming through this way because they can't go through the stairs. But we could give them a little bit more help by doing covered walkway like this. And then actually... Okay, so maybe I didn't pick the best possible way to do this. Well, at any rate, this is better than nothing, right? It is better than nothing. And it's not super incredibly crazy expensive, it's just a little bit expensive. It should not be possible for these things to overtake down here or spread through here because we have these crappy platforms in the way. I think this will be fine for right now. Let's just leave that as it is. As soon as those stairs are done, that's going to be reconnected, and that will solve this problem of not being connected. That's being built. Tar, I forgot, is constantly being used by some other stuff, which is unfortunate. Okay, this got built. It says it is connected, so no harm, no foul there. Let's get this upstairs connected to it with the deep water pump upgrade. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Hello? Hello? Bueller? There we go. Alright, so that's fine. These are not prioritized, but it doesn't currently matter. Oh, this still has not been built because why? What a predictable outcome this is. I don't have any gears because a long time ago I removed the mechanics workshop because, oh, I don't need to research any more of this stuff. But I need the gears. So, we do have to rebuild one of these. Gear recipe. Gear consumption, actually, is probably a better thing to figure out. What is using the gears? It is so unfortunate that we don't have the mod that does goods consumption tracking. Because, man, oh man, do I love that. But, let's just do a quick cursory look here. I'm pretty sure none of this consumes gears. Architect's Lodge, if it were researching something, yeah, even then probably not. Alright, well, anyway, all that to say, I don't want to put a Mechanics Lodge back down there. I do want to hide the UI so I can actually see. But I think it's going to be... Seriously, it's going to let me do this? No way, dude. No way. No way. Anyway, so that's going to be making gears. Oh, you know what? We could actually save a little bit of... Yeah, there we go. Assuming this actually works and I can place a balloon on it. That's kind of the whole thing I was trying to do here, is figure out why in the world I can't do my balloons. Do I just have to get like way up on it? Because I'm not seeing any possibility. Do I have to... No. Alt Control Scroll does that weird thing. I have to Alt Scroll. Or is this... because I wasn't up at the top level. There's always some sort of weird thing. When you do as much stuff to this game as... Aha! I don't know what I did, but I fixed it. Alright. If you left a comment telling me why I was not able to do that, I just want you to know that I appreciate you, but I have now figured this out. Scouting balloons. The input for that, of course it is this paper, but we have 355, so need to have an output for the sky exploration point documents, whatever. It's probably not actually called that. I think I've been informed of that before, but I'm just gonna put this right here, set that to sky exploration. There is no unit, and then we need a warehouse for paper, which I suppose could just go right next door, make this nice and simple. And eventually, in theory, this will be, you know, a decent enough thing. This takes methane, methane of course being ideally produced over here once the tank is complete, and it's needing tar, which we do not have enough of yet. And which one of these is making? This one. This is not making, not because we don't have materials, but because I guess they just don't want to. Well, a certain someone is here in The Alchemist allegedly committing work here, so hop to it. Let's go. Let's see, what are you... Oh, you're sleeping. Oh, no, you live in The Alchemist, but you work at the fermentation barrels. Okay. Well, I guess I can't get mad at you. Oh, this is the beaver who's working. You are carrying nothing, and you are committing the task of producing. Okay, I can see that. Carry on. Probably should have more than one of these making tar anyway, but we'll just let this be what it's already got to be. Okay, yeah, we talked about this. I don't really love this setup, but honestly, it's probably fine. Now I wonder, is it worth putting showers over here? I already know, if your name is Kurt, that your answer is going to be absolutely it's worth putting showers here. And so you know what? I will grant you this small, tiny bit of happiness. Actually, no, I won't, because this wild bramble seedling just popped into the exact spot I wanted to use. Oh, fate is a cruel mistress, isn't she? Well, fortunately, with the power of just putting it somewhere else, and also remembering where in the world I was going with this, I'm just going to put one there. And we'll just deal with it, because we know, you know, getting well-being up is going to be a smart idea. And of course, you know, covered walkways should be built in a bunch of other spots, and I haven't really been good at keeping up with that. So why don't we, at choke points, just put a couple of these that have an appropriate thing going in here. Covered walkway here and here. Why not? We don't really need two of those, so I'll just do the one. Where else? Actually, a good spot to do this would be right outside of zipline stations, because, you know, beavers are going to be going in and out of there frequently. I actually don't have one in range of all of these. which that would now solve. Stairs. That is very loud. Stairs would be a good opportunity for us to do that on a couple of different spots. And it's 12 logs each, so it's not really, you know, heinously expensive. It's expensive enough. But, too bad there's not a intersection piece like that. Well, I'll just leave that alone like that. It should be okay. They'll cut more trees down. We'll move on. There is a shower. So what are we doing on... Oh, food's actually looking good. Chestnut beer, not looking that great, but I think that's probably because most of it's going to produce the strong alcohol. Oh, this isn't even food. This is just basic needs. But this is looking good. Most of the stuff we're making, the beavers are almost all getting. A lot of these are imports or things we can't get to yet. Surprisingly, library's doing well. Tea Lodge and Terrace. Maybe we should have another one of those. I don't know. Observation deck. What does that... Because I know there was an older version of the game where there was an upgrade you could make on the triangle buildings specifically to put an observation deck on there. Oh, I removed the news board and I didn't put it back in. That is an easy thing to do as soon as I remember where it is. Okay. Yeah, see, putting this in some sort of location that isn't going to be in the way, but is also going to give us a good radius of effectivity here. What about right there? That will work for actually a surprisingly big portion of the population. And then, why not put one over in this area? No, I can on top of the library if they could get up there, which they technically can't. So maybe I don't want to be that fresh. I'll just put this, there we go. Just put that there. And that, you know, it won't technically cover everybody, but it will cover a pretty good portion of the population. This is connected, so I believe this can be done away with. Can get rid of that, can get rid of that, because they can just come over here and get rid of that themselves, and then I can get rid of this path. And, not that we are super in need of additional lotuses, but we can plant them. Because it's in range, might as well. At some point, we will make use of them. This is now empty enough. This is now empty enough. That's done there. So we've got some space here we could do something with if we want. We could also blast it down 1. We could blast it down 2. If we wanted to. We got options. River baths, I've got 2. We probably should put more than 1 somewhere else. Someone said I should put one down here, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So why don't we do just that? Pop in, I guess. Right about here, it doesn't seem to care about being that far underwater. That should be fine. Now, this will be poison at some point, because that's how this works. But for now, it's fine. Regarding diverting or blocking some of that poison, obviously we still have these here. We've talked about that. Probably the easiest way to deal with it, in all honesty, is just going to be to blast all the way down to the bottom of the map and go out the side, but that is going to take a monumental amount of time in water beavers, because of course it is. Down to 2 scaffoldings. I know we've built a bunch of stuff that uses scaffolding, so we should probably leave that alone for a little bit. This, of course, is waiting on 25 gears. This is attempting to make gears. I think this probably just got finished. 10 hours for a gear. Man, I really squandered that, huh? And I can't really add too many more mechanics lodges because they're also houses. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Yeah, it says the balloons are just waiting. That is unfortunate. I know when we get into the abyss, there's the thing that makes the gears really fast. There it is. Half an hour you get 5 of them, but this is so far away that we can't really, now I got Dragon Force in my head. I can't even read the whole thing. We already talked about this. We do need the ENS at some point, but we do have to research both the blueprints for that. We have to make the incredibly compact library set, which is its own set of challenges. So we're still a ways off. But that is on the list of things to do. Library, we cannot just make another library to do simultaneous research or making books or whatever, because you have to have the same set to make a library. And currently this is our only real way of getting science. So I'm not gonna, you know, stop making science here until we've unlocked most of the stuff we actually really want to have. But if we ever were to run out of one of the ingredients to make the advanced science, we could swap this over to library books, provided we have the paper, which I guess we kind of do. It's not really that big of a thing, but regardless, we can speed this up on triple speed for a little bit. This is operating to make more sawdust as designed. That is perfectly fine. But what I was going to say is there should be some other ways for us to get some well-being, like building Peacock courts in various places that we're not currently using other stuff for. They're cheap to build. If you're wondering what the heck Peacock is, it seems like it's a French version of a croquet-like game. It may not be exactly the same thing, but that's what comes to mind when I looked it up. This is not a good spot for it. I thought that might have fit. Where else can I shove one of these? I really should be planting trees here, honestly. I left this open for more mushroom growers, but now it doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing. So, you know, recognizing the importance of having all of these trees, I'm just going to plant more. I know they can't use all of those, but look at it done. Yeah, you know, I don't think I really need to build more than one of these, but we'll check and see. Tools or possession. Wooden toys could actually be something that we get into soon. Hey, there's me making explosives. That's possibly ill-advised, but anyway, I'm going to stop making balloons in this Handicrafter's Lodge once this one is finished. Mostly because I don't want to stop process on a balloon that's already been made. Oh, I don't have any more storage for explosives. If I'm going to, you know, have explosives, then I should have storage for the explosives. I think, at least. So maybe another small warehouse in just a random location would not be a bad idea. Yeah. I did not know that that was why we did not have... Alright. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this next... Oh, yeah, we got the quadruple dynamites. Can't forget about those. So that's 4. If it's mirrored, then this is also a 4, and then I need a 3, which isn't going to do me much good to bother researching the rest of these except to make it slightly simpler. Okay, so this one here is 1, 2... 3, 3, and then this one is also 4. So that'll be, 1, an easy way to get that freed up so that we can actually make more dynamite, and 2, speedrun this. Because, boy oh boy, do we want this to be done as quickly and easily as possible. Now, I know that there is, in theory, a method to do this with tunnels. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. Please do not get exploded. Now we just have to come back through here with the rest of our dynamite and get that done there. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So this has to go as well. I can do all this from up top, but I will start with the staircase. Then this one, of course, can go here. And... there we go. One step at a time. And get these last 3 in place. Then we can build the other mine, and then I'm going to have probably one of these on coal, one of these on iron ore, just long term until we have other stuff we absolutely have to do. I'm down to 15 quartz. One of these needed quartz to get built, and I can't remember which one it was, and now it's bothering me. But all we can do is just move on. So let's get that in place, and then I can get this medium mine. And look at that. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together and it's nice and symmetrical? Ah, yes. It's a thing of beauty. And now that is hooked up. This one's already on coal. I'm going to put this one on iron, like I said. And we probably should have storage for both of those things somewhere around here. Which that's on me for not having that readily accessible. But, that's going to be... No, it's actually not going to be that big of a deal if I wanted to put skewer platforms in or overhang walkways, but I don't think I want to mess with it, so we'll leave that alone. Getting there on the tar. Metal blocks, I guess we must have used all of them, and I can't make any more anvils. Well, I guess I can, but I don't need to. Let's put this back on. Wow, look how fast they went to that. All right. I guess they were hungry to get something accomplished. Okay, with 3.9 days, this is actually pumping way too much water. Let's slow this down. I hate to say it, but I think we're going to have to start pausing these and start removing them. At least the up... Oh, I got 20 extra... I got 15 extra beaver jobs. All right. Well, I'm going to start pausing the actual pumps. And then, well, I guess I'm going to pause the pumps. I just pause all of this and just do it in one fell swoop. So now we got 9 homeless beavers, but we could probably build some sort of other housing somewhere that would actually make sense. Or use that 9 beaver slush as a way to get more florists in place. And now I am very curious. Can we stack these? Are you serious? There's no reason this should be allowed. All right, well, solves that problem. It's just going to do it. Why not? Why not? Just stack the heck out of these things. Now, how am I going to get up to the second floor? I really should do that with ladders. And you know how much I love ladders if you know anything about this whole saga with the water beavers. I do, in fact, love ladders. So, I don't have the science to really research those yet. I also don't have any regular platforms. So, unfortunately, the most convenient way to do this right now is going to be putting in spiral stairs on this to get up to the top. Now, this pile of sunflower seeds, I know it just got filled up, but what we're going to do is... oh, I actually don't have the ability to do it with a pile. We're going to do the warehouse, small warehouse on the bottom. Why did you stop that? Plant fiber. Then sunflower seeds can go in this. I love that these can stack. This is glorious. This is absolutely glorious. Thank you so much for allowing me to get away with this. Oh, no, it wasn't, okay, well, you know what? I also need a thing for sawdust, but... that is... I know this is probably not the best way to do this. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to put that there. There you go. That can be set to prioritize. That can be set to prioritize. That's fine. Alright, so that's going to, give us our 9 extra beavers back. Housing-wise. And this is a much better use of that. Please also note that I do need to replace this pumping. I just didn't want it to be continually pumping out of this when we still have 3.4 days left, and some of these crops are a little testy, shall we say. Okay, that is still waiting on gears, predictably. This is waiting on metal blocks and tar. This is very slowly making gears, and honestly, I kind of want to just put another one in here so we can try to speed that up. This is done, filled with methane. This is waiting on, yes, pencil sets, everyone's favorite. Yeah, I probably should just build more handicrafters lodges, honestly. I forget if somebody asked if we could stack these. I also forget if I just said that, so if I did say that, then, well, sorry for forgetting after 0.5 seconds. That's the way it goes. I need to put in more pumps. Theoretically, if I really, really wanted to use a bunch of platforms, I could just extend this all the way across here and put another 2 of these in by blasting that, but I don't want to do that. Actually, that might not be the best idea. I don't know. I would like the pumping to still be from this area, because this is, you know, is what it is. But, you know, potentially underrated idea that I just now remembered was possible. I could put some over here. I don't know if that's really a great idea, because this is dry up here, because this has already been pumped down. This is only really going to have water if these are coming down this way. That's definitely dry. Oh, another thing that I did not do that I absolutely should have done is remove these paths over here, because now they don't have to walk this way. Now that song's stuck in your head. You're welcome. We'll just do that. Marked for cutting? Yes. Oh, and we've got extra space. Because, you know, we can always use more trees. Yeah, so these guys, of course, connect through zip lines. We can add more zip lines over here if we felt so inclined. I could do another zipline station. I could do another forester. I could do another forester, lumberjack, and zipline station upgrade combo over here. I don't know that we have enough space to really justify doing that, but point being, we have the ability to create other zipline connections. We just kind of haven't. And since this is only a forester, I'm not really worried about them having to come all the way through here, and they can just deal with it. But I got to add more pumps. This one is waiting on, what else? Tar and gears. Well, let this be a lesson to you. Don't remove critical infrastructure before you're absolutely sure you're not going to need it later. We are thankfully down to 3 beavers with mild disease. We have 2 that are injured. Minor burn, major burn. Can't do anything about the major burn. That's fine. This is continuing. Oh, this contaminated beaver jail does not need to be over here, because we want to send them over to this part of town. No pollution resistance factor. Is that because we're out of materials or because they drank it all? Brain stimulating mushrooms are not stimulating because we don't have bad water. Yeah, you know what? It may be time for us to have another bad water pump installed. Or upgrade this one to the one that uses power, but the way this setup is currently going, I don't know that that's viable. The regular bad water pump also requires stuff we can't get to yet, so that answers that question of clockwork robotic controllers. That being said, we do have the ability to take advantage of some of this nonsense over here. And depending on how polluted this becomes, it may make sense for us to preemptively put in bad water pumps in, say, an area like this, and just utilize, because I know this is something somebody brought up when I did this the first time. We can utilize tunnels to get us into the doorways of these buildings without actually getting contaminated. That is a very exciting prospect. I do like that idea. I just don't know exactly how to best integrate that without it being a huge pain in the butt. But I do think small bad water pump in an area that is going to be occasionally contaminated with bad water would be a smart one, if for no other reason than to help clean out the bad water. And since we have the Twirl and Hurl 5000, it doesn't really matter if they can contaminate. Oh, it's got lap bars. I don't remember that being there. That's cute. So let's do just that, because I feel like it's going to be a mistake if we don't have better bad water control. It doesn't really matter exactly where this goes, huh? Why don't we... Yes, this will work underwater, because of course it will. It just has that warning about building being flooded. I mean, I know we just talked about this, but doing this way here does have its own certain type of appeal, where the beavers who are going in here do not have to directly touch the bad water. But, you know, the building ends up contaminating them anyway. So, you know, I don't think it really matters. So I'm going to check and see what is underneath the absolutely nothing. Okay. Let's do Oh, I know I'm gonna regret doing this wrong if I do it wrong. Oh, quit being a baby, just do it. All right. I suppose right here in the middle is fine enough for anything. I'm gonna make space for... How big is this? Of course it is. Okay. Can I flip it? I can. 2 of these is probably enough. If this ends up not working, then, you know, feel free to, you know, blow me up, flame me, whatever you want. But I think it would not be a bad idea to just go ahead and have 2 of these right here. And look at them go. Look at them go. And we can activate those with Bad Gary. They can turn on during a bad tide, turn off after a bad tide. Although, actually, it would be smarter for these to be on a timer connected to Bad Gary so that they would activate... They would stay active, say, for a full day after a bad tide to continue pumping bad water out. Can I build timers outside of the calculatorium? No, I cannot. Okay. Well... 200 science, and I'm so close to getting ladders. I think I'm going to save for ladders. For now, we can just have the simple, stupid solution going, and then refine it later if we feel so inclined. All right, K for kaboom. Nobody get exploded, please and thank you. All right, that is going to go here. Flipped this way so that we can get in. Flipped that way so that we can put stairs here. And that will allow them to get into the front. All right, nobody get exploded, please and thank you. And doorway, spiral stairs, because if you're going to get contaminated, you might as well do it with some style. And there you go. There is no bad water storage right here. Yes, I do understand that is suboptimal. However, we are close enough to a zipline station. And we also have the power of just putting in another tank. And not only do we have the power of putting in another tank, we have, just confirm this, yeah. We have the power of exploding this with 4 times dynamite and putting the other tank directly next to this one. I think that's an easier way of going about it. So, automate 2 Bad Gary. Automate 2 Bad Gary and leave it alone for some undetermined amount of time until we have to worry about it. They are waiting on, of course, scaffoldings. Yeah, I really should have built more of these. I was also implored that I should stop worrying about using these as stairs and just build them. Which, you know, fair enough. That is a very valid thing to do. Yeah, see, now I don't have a lot of logs either. See, I knew there was a reason why we had to have more of these. Ah, that's why that didn't work. This is fine here. Oh, that's an irrigation lodge, not a forestry. Yeah, I kind of stepped in it, huh? Well, oh, you know what I should have done is I should have had them come over here to get rid of these, and now I kind of blocked it off. Well, nothing a little bit of fiddling can't fix. You know, I guess I can just do this. Oh, no, I shouldn't commit to that. It's gonna, you know, it's not gonna be cheaper to do it that way. You know, we'll just, what in the world? All right, come on. We'll just do it this way. All right. I need these trees cut down because I need the wood, and then I did kind of want to do tree farming over here, but you know as well as I do that that's not really going to be a viable thing if we don't solve the bad water problem first. So I'm just going to put this one lumberjack flag here. They will build this at some point when they actually build it. Here. Now we have the extra beavers in place to actually get rid of all these ruins, and we also have some over here that this cannot reach. Now, whose fault is that? Anyway, scavenger flags are free. So, if I want to actually get some of this cleaned up, all I've got to do is come over here, minimum priority all of these jobs, and they will eventually pick this clean, and then we can do other stuff with the space. Just have to manually go through here and take care of this. Then our idle beavers will be idle no more. Alright. So that'll take a chunk out of them. This is waiting on planks. This is running to make sawdust, which we are actually low on, are actually using, so I guess that is fine. I think I can probably safely at this point stop having the fast growth mushrooms because we have 2,200 of them. So I'm going to save some of the sawdust and have that be what we're doing instead. Scaffolding is still being used, so I can't really build any more of these. This is ready to be exploded. Okay, for kaboom. And I know we don't have the planks to build it, but I'm going to put this in anyway. And this is going to be for bad water that is being taken care of here. It's close to a zipline station. This zipline station could be, actually, could be pretty nicely connected through here, because this has to go all the way around. Do I want to open that can of worms? Because the pylons stay... okay, I can't afford to build those yet. This is waiting on... oh, pencil sets. Oh, I got trapped by the balloons again. I forgot. All right. So we do really, and I mean it this time, we really have to have this this Handicrafter's Lodge not making balloons, but it's 90% done. So it's gonna be like at like 95, 96% by the time they go home. So we're gonna have to come back and look at this the next day. Well-being is up to 19, which is an improvement. That is good. I wonder if it would be worth getting these cleared out and then blasting this out so we can grow more trees. I think the answer is yes. And I still have extra beavers. So that is what I'm going to do over here. Gonna get these beavers doing some scrap metal harvesting. 3 of these should be fine. This will, in the time period between when I remember I did this and when I actually need this space, actually be kind of a viable thing. Can I get over here in the meantime and blast this out? Survey says no. Wait, survey sure is saying a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to write Steve Harvey a check. Definitely cannot afford that. So we'll just let them get those in place. We'll start planting some more trees. This is now low. Dies in 2.8 days. I guess, you know, I should have probably paused these sooner, but is what it is. Oh, I forgot about this not being irrigated, and I thought it was never going to be a problem again, and I took out the thing. I was like, oh, I don't need that, and now I kind of need it. Oh, well. This guy has nothing to do because there's no planks. Of course there's no planks. This is still on sawdust mode, but it doesn't have it doesn't have logs to turn into sawdust. This also doesn't have logs to turn into planks or sawdust because I don't have enough trees, and that's why I'm coming over here, but I can't do that because I don't have the stuff. I love it when stuff happens like this. These guys are working, that's fine, that's fine. How can I get wood quickly without cutting down trees we're actually using? Don't really have easy access here. It's not impossible to go over here, but I would have to... is there stairs? No, but I'm also using these to get pine resin. Allegedly. Oh, the Gatherer flag can't do that. Oh, I don't need more pine resin. That's right, because I have this whole stupid thing for pine resin. What am I doing, man? No, 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 no. We can cut these trees down. No one will be crying tears for these trees. That is in range. Get some wood, fix some problems, and move on. Okay, so these are automatically paused because Bad Gary is not active. This has not been finished because we do not have gears, as we have previously discussed. We do, however, have some gears being made. excuse me, being made. We don't have planks, which, you know, is kind of an issue in terms of trying to get gears. Now we just need the logs to turn it into the planks. See, oh, look at the, like, photosensitivity warning on that. We are not doing horrible. We're just, you know, we're going through it a little bit. Paper storage, I'm going to tell you what. We don't need the paper right now super urgently, so I'm going to hit pause. We're going to need it at some point. Oh, here I go again. All right, the cycle of violence has ended. We're now making pencil sets, which is going to use some of the paper and the pine resin and the clay and the coal, and I do have all of those things. So that will help, and it's cycle 21. So for the time being, we are still somehow in the same episode number as the cycle number. I don't know how long that's really going to be a viable thing, but we're going to have water coming back in here, hopefully before these things all die, because they're very annoying to replant. More water coming in here that is being pumped. There's actually not that much water flowing in here except for here and here, so the amount of water that's actually staying is good. This coming in is fine. That's what we wanted. I mean, I feel like we've been making really good progress. It's just some things have been kind of annoying for me and for you. Okay, for Kaboom. Look at that. Look at all this space for more Everblossoms. You'll love to see it. Get over here, plant some trees. Because I know that's in range, and oh yes it is. That is going to be a big, big, big help. I should have done it sooner. You know how that goes. Guess I can do these couple of things real quick. Gain a little bit more space. Yeah, if I had these trees gone, I could probably do that. Wait, you know what? I have ledge logging. I can really only use that for the benefit of like 2 trees, I just realized, but you know, still counts, right? Okay, for Kaboom. Now that your right ears have been destroyed, I guess I'll just plant those. You know, I haven't gotten the, I've become deaf destroyer of ears, or whatever the Timberborn, achievement is for exploding a bunch of dynamite in one playthrough. Maybe we'll get that in this one. We've actually done a decent bit. Okay, this is bramble free still. Oh, this was not set to methane. That was my mistake. This, of course, is waiting on gears. So methane power. Don't have anything over here to really run off of, but at some point when this is all connected, I do want to get that strung across somewhere. This is, again, mostly for the underground elevator to the abyss that takes 500 HP. And the gas extractor takes another 150. The abyssal excavation drill takes 50. Human underground factory operating team. Laboratory, not factory. 500 HP. 1,000 for this one for the factory. So, anyway, there's a reason to be building the methane engine. It used to be, in previous versions of the game, that this was really not a very good thing to be using. But I think the way the balance has changed makes this a lot more appealing at this time. I still have 10 beavers with nothing to do. Well, that's not gonna cut the mustard. We got to get these guys in here removing some scrap metal, and we got to be doing something with the scrap metal, like making more metal. We probably also need to have a couple more of these workshops. We just can't really power these very well until this is all hooked up. I've got 2 scaffolding. I think we've finished most of the stuff that they were actually using scaffolding for. I'm going to keep these paused for a while. I really do want to try and migrate as much of the pumping up here as I can. Grand Dam is a different thing. This, again, these are, 33% increase over the previous functionality, and I've got 11 of these versus how many were down here? 9, so it's already, even with these all being paused and these all being turned on, it should still be pretty good. Look at those lights. We got illumination. Not bad. All right. Oh, I gotta get something else done here. Let's put in a... No, I don't have planks or anything to really put stairs up here unless I wanted to make a crappy log staircase. I don't know, because this is one of those things we probably are going to want to get up here at some point to try and do a diversion thing for Badwater where we can just shove it off the edge of the map, which will work in this case because this is not up against the edge of the map. We just have to have something here in front of it. Do I want to commit to that right now? Probably not. Am I going to build a staircase anyway? Yes. Am I going to set this to cut? Also, yes. It's not, you know, not a bad idea to be prepared. That's looking fine. Food is fantastic at 10,000. We've got tons of fried rice, tons of braised cabbage. We got nenefars. We got rice balls, although the nenefars are more of a thing for industrial purposes currently. Okay, that's all looking okay. Yeah, it's going to take them a long time to actually have this be more usable space, so I guess we can just leave them alone. Yeah, we got to get this power. Got to get this power sorted. Okay, I think it's probably worth... Yes, that's 5. That's all of our platforms available right now. I don't want to put all of them in at once because if we do need the platforms for something else, it's going to be a huge pain. Oh, and I'm not really making enough planks to... okay, we've had the discussion about the planks before. Can I... Not really, because that goes in that side. Alright, what's going to have to happen is... great sound. This screw press is going to go away. This T-intersection is already a T-intersection if I was smart when I did this, and we all know how that goes, but if... Gnawing Hall. I forgot about the Gnawing Hall. That is marginally faster, and it's a triangle roof building. Yes. That's not the right one. That's also not the right one. Where is my... What the heck is this? Rudimentary sawmill. Where in the world is the rudimentary... Oh, okay, that's this. What I was going to say is if I positioned this correct... Oh, it's flippable! It's flippable. How did I... Okay, somehow this is still in the wrong spot. You know, folks, I really made a mistake setting this up, didn't I? This isn't going to work here because of that being in the same spot. Why am I the way that I am? This is connected here. This is going to have to be connected back through the other side. Yeah, that ain't going to work. Is this even close to being done yet? Because we could actually use... this if we're careful. That would not be a great spot for it, but this could go... perennial water beaver issue of there's nowhere good to put anything. This is not an enviable position to find ourselves in. Is it an issue of just not... Okay, it's because we don't have logs. That's it. That's the only reason this is a problem. So, I was justified in wanting to fix this. They are cutting these trees, so that is progress at the very least. Since I still have extra beavers, and I don't particularly want to be dealing with this for the rest of time, I'm going to put 4 of these in here. And then extend this again, and put... oh, I guess I'm going to have to get all of these. Put that there. So that will be most of the idle beavers. If I have like 6 of these guys working on this, this is going to be done pretty quick. We won't have to worry that much about it. I don't want to get rid of these because they're holding back the bramble infestation over here. We've already talked about why planting trees here is not necessarily a great idea. This is constantly powered by that geothermal engine that we can't really do much with otherwise. Well-being's up to 20, which is nice. That is a pretty big improvement. This has been put in place. Automated to bad Gary. Does this have the version to... Okay, it does have a version to activate early, but we don't need that. Everything else is fine. Yeah, you know, I think we've done most of what we've really been able to do. But I did say these could possibly be longer, since I don't technically have to make 3 of these a week anymore. How are we doing on pencil sets for everything else? Like, what's holding this back? Oh, no, the balloon's actually going. Okay, and these, not technically scouting points, but that's what I'm going to end up calling them anyway, sky exploration. At some point, this must have just started. At some point, we'll be bringing us back, which will get us closer to the folktales, which will require their own thing, and then we can start getting the seeds, but they have to have books. So we have to make books, which come from the library, of course. 5 books for 5 seeds seems like a decent enough trade. Just remember that when we go to make the library book set, I think that's 100. And each of those is going to take 1.3 hours, so that's going to be an annoying process. The screw press, that's where the recipe is. 200. Okay, that's going to be fun. Well, we don't have to worry about that quite yet. I just wanted to get something up and running slightly better. This guy can no longer reach anything. Alright, well, you can go do something else. That's fine. This is going to give us access also over here, which is not a bad thing. I really, really, really want to close this off. It's calling me like the Green Goblin mask. We do have terrain blocks that we can do dirt with. And we do have some dirt. We have 112. Obviously, this is not going to work. Levees normally cannot be built, with the exception of on top of something else. I know this doesn't make sense how I've worded this. How deep is this? It's only 2. If I research the double... You see, this isn't going to let me put this here. Like it would show with the others. Is that because this is on top of it? Well, anyway, I need to, prevent this from going anywhere, and until I have something that's going to allow me to do that, it's probably not going to be worth it. Because this does go down underneath. Well, we can get there when we get there. We just have to, let it be what's got to be. This has not been marked. Somebody, I think, left a comment about that a long time ago. Just now getting that sorted. Are we still making, about 170 something? That's fine. Yeah, this is going to take 800 years. Okay, and then that set off the whole thing of, I want to build more of this, but I can't because I can't, and then all that. So recognizing that we have all of this power coming through here, and knowing how incredibly annoying it can be to route power, why don't we seize an opportunity to put a workshop in a spot that will benefit from having convenient power nearby. Now I know I have to be able to actually attach this to something, and this only makes 100 HP anyway. I think I don't really have the scaffolding. I know this says I have 11, but it's all going to be gone. I don't know that I can really justify putting this here, because it's going to block paths, and this isn't going to be set up right. Is it a 4 wide? I always forget these things. It is. Okay. I cannot flip this, which is unfortunate. But this would not be tremendously stupid if I blasted this down. 3 here, 2 here, 1 here, and I know I have the stuff to do it. Am I overcommitting to the bit? Probably. But this would make this easier, and I just have to be able to route the power around it. So, before we get too excited, that's going to go down 2, that's going to go down, because then I can stack another one of those on top of this, and I can have the power come in. Oh, this thing of ruins needs to go away. See, there's always something, man. always something that comes up when you go to do something like this in this mod. Scrap metal. See, this even has to come in from this side. This isn't even really that good, that accessible. And I don't have any really better way to do this anyhow. You know what? Who cares? Large pile here. Why not? Just get more of this stuff somewhere else. I just need this pile gone. And if I know how this is supposed to work... Okay, well, I guess I don't know that well, because this guy is going to be going here. But I didn't want to block this off specifically. Anyway, they will get some of these removed in convenient enough ways. I know they're going to absolutely mob this, and this is going to be full basically immediately. Oh, I've got science. I was saving it for ladders, and now I have ladders. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, ladders, my beloved. I will probably not be able to use you for a while, but now I can also get the large industrial pile, which is... Oh, it's 5 of these? Okay. For now, I'm just gonna... not... I'm just going to put in some more of these right here. We will optimize eventually. Don't you worry about that. But I just need some sort of progress to be made here. All right. Well, now that I know I can get the power up here, and these are only 100 each, we need to keep that in mind. Wow, that's 10 more just to get up here. Yikes. Well, I can connect that and that, assuming I want to reorient these, which I probably will. Move some things around. That sounds like a next episode problem to solve, but I did want to try and get just literally anything done here. I've got downward T intersections, I've got upward T's, and I've got vertical T's. This is what I wanted to put in. A vertical T intersection to put something underneath or potentially on top of whatever I'm ending up building now. But for this to connect where I want it to connect, I should probably... Tell you what. Let's not do completely stupid things here, but I can run power underneath pathing. I can also just adjust this so it's not completely stupid anyway. See, if I run power underneath here, then that's going to give me something I can also build on, but the power goes into the back of this at the second level. So there is, there is some sort of advantage to this also just being one more level up, so it can go directly into, no, not one more level up, at this exact level. So that would, why is this frying me so hard? I really should not be struggling this much with this. Okay, I'll tell you what. This... Oh, no, hold on. This top one can be changed out for a vertical T intersection facing... That actually is not going to work. That needs to be a universal... Okay, well, no matter what, I know I can use this somewhere else. I can have this go... Come on, where's the arrow? No, that's not even the right one. If I'm going to have this hook up to the back of a building, I also, and I don't want to research this, I can put in a T intersection here, and then another one here. What that's going to do is that's going to simplify what I want to explode. I just need to have this stack removed and this stack removed, and then create a tunnel to get down to the bottom. For now, this will be fine like this. And for this guy to get what I want him to get, I guess it doesn't really matter. Is this one that works here? I just need to have more storage, and I just need to not worry about it so much. I am probably trying a little bit too hard to get this to connect in ways that are not going to be completely stupid. Just to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. we don't need to be trying quite this hard. There's going to be better ways to do it. Maybe it makes more sense to put other buildings here, but I'm going to choose not to lose too much of my mind over this. Okay, these guys here. That is the lowest priority job. Yeah, see, water-wise, we're fine without these running. We can actually probably safely take these out, but I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. Okay, that's done. We got a lot of logs really quickly. What about over here? Yeah, I committed way too hard to getting rid of all this scrap metal when I really just wanted this piece to be gone. Ugh, why am I like this? Why am I the way that I am? I don't know that there's a good answer to that question. We just need more storage for scrap metal, and we need to be able to do more with it, so... What is going to be the best way to get this in here? This really is not... I have done myself zero favors the way that I've ended up laying this out. Oh, man. This, of course, will all be, you know, stuck somewhere at some point, but for right now, we're not using the space anyway, so it doesn't really do too much harm, does it? I just want these two... I want these two to be gone. That's all that's all I ask. I know they're only going to work on what is closest to them, which means I do have to have this maybe rotated a little bit. Let's do that. Let's give these guys a fighting chance of doing literally anything that we actually want them to do. And then just get these two, because I can't explain why, I just need it. I just need that to happen. Okay, of course, that's not doing anything else. This is fine, it's just really slow. We probably should have more than one of these, but I'm not super worried about it. We got 8 sky exploration. This gives us 1 per 10 hours. That's fine. We're chewing through paper. Not literally, not yet. But we are going through it, so maybe we should put in paper mill stuff again. Well, if I turn it on now like I have all this other stuff going on, then it's not really going to solve any problems, is it? Okay. We might be starting to get to the point now where we're kind of fishing for stuff to, you know, just check off. So I do have methane, and they're filling this, making that, so that's all good. That is all very good. We just have to be able to, you know... We have to be able to make good progress without just rushing to get something done. So I think this is probably going to be where I have to end this one. I know I said these episodes could be a little bit longer, but that doesn't mean they have to be. It means we have the freedom to do that. So, as always, I appreciate you guys supporting this series, supporting the channel, Beard Boosters with their contributions, so I don't have to have any sponsors and I don't have to worry about any of that other garbage. We can just have fun playing with beavers and doing all these other things. And now that this is going to be twice weekly, along with the Timberpunk 2 series being twice weekly, that opens up some time. And we can finally start doing Roller Coaster Tycoon again regularly. We can hopefully actually stream more, because, you know, when you're making 6 90 to 100-minute videos a week, that really, really eats up my evenings. It makes it really hard for me to try to stream during the week, and I had a bunch of things that just kept coming up, and I wasn't able to do it, and I felt kind of bad about that the last couple of weeks. But I want to do more Satisfactory. I want to do more Transport Fever 2. I want to do other games that we haven't touched. And condensing this stuff a little bit now that, you know, the hard early parts of the playthroughs are over, I think is going to be the best way to do that. So, whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back in this series on Friday. We'll see you tomorrow for the Timberpunk 2 series, so that'll be Tuesday, Saturday. And that leaves Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday to do what we want in terms of the video uploads. And then if I'm not having to do a video for Wednesday, that means Tuesday nights I'll have time to stream. So that was a very concerning click my elbow just made. But I got to have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.